This podcast has been brought to you by thriving-startup.com. Hello and welcome to the Thriving Startup Podcast, the podcast that helps aspiring entrepreneurs just like you to start, grow and thrive in business. On today's episode, I am joined by a former student of mine who has just celebrated her 6-month milestone in business. She has created a business around video content creation and it's called Ceyla Media. I am very pleased to introduce you to Neve Velmurugan. Neve of Ceyla Media. Hello and welcome to the Thriving Startup Podcast. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I am great and so excited for this opportunity.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so happy to have you on and I'm pleased that you could join us today. So we've got lots to talk about in terms of video content and video marketing. So can you just give us a bit of background about Ceyla Media, please?
I started the business in October last year, and before that, I worked during university as a video journalist, and I have experience, creating TV packages for TV. I knew that that was a skill that I had, and I really enjoyed filming and doing interviews, and so I wanted to kind of build on that. And so it was last year when I had just left my job and I decided, okay, I know that this is a passion of mine and I love it so much. So why not turn it into a business? And so I decided to create Ceyla Media, and it's been going really well. It hasn't been easy, but it's been going well so far.
Excellent. I'm really pleased to hear. That was October in 2024 then?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So you've passed the 6-month mark then already?
Yeah, I know. And it's been so crazy. I think my business has definitely changed a lot from the beginning, because initially I was thinking to take it more of the social media marketing route. But then I knew that, again, my passion was in creating videos and speaking to people. And one thing that really changed it for me and the direction that I wanted to take my business was when I got the opportunity from you to film TEDx and, film the behind the scenes for you. And that was honestly the moment that it changed for me. And I decided, okay, this is what I love doing. This is where I'm going to take it.
That's fantastic. So before the TED Talk then, so were you in the graduation stages of moving out of employment into doing this full time then?
Yeah, so I left my job, which I was working at a PR agency, and we did social media there as well. But then mentally, I was just struggling a lot in terms of just what my purpose was. I just felt like during university, I was so passionate about what I was doing, and I lost that spark. And it was very difficult for me mentally to kind of know what I wanted to do with my life. And, during university as well, people talk about, okay, you get a good grade and then you get a job that's going to pay you well, and then you go up the corporate ladder. And I felt like that was the normal thing to do. But for me, deep inside, I always knew isn't what I wanted to do. But obviously, it was so different to what everyone else was talking about. When I would speak to some of my friends, they would say, of course, after uni, I'm going to get a job and that's what I want to do. But I just always felt so confused. I was just like, I don't know, because I really enjoy doing this, but how can I make sure that, I make money and also that I work on something that genuinely brings me joy. So I just felt so confused, but I did do what everyone else did, and I got a job straight after uni, and I felt like it was just not for me. I knew very early on, but I tried to push through because I felt like that was the, I guess, right thing to do, and that's what everyone else does. But it was just not for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of entrepreneurs can certainly resonate with the overwhelming side of it and the confusion of like, oh God, what direction do I need to go in? They're fully in tune with what the passion is and what vision they have that they want in terms of work-life balance, for example. But knowing the route to actually get there and to get the clients through the door and how you can make money and make a difference, it is a hard thing to work out, especially when you know that you've got so much to. It's a tough part of particularly starting up to navigate through, but sounds like you've pushed through, which is fantastic news. So are you happy now and content?
think obviously making this decision and deciding to do it full time, like it's a lot. It's a big decision. And obviously I've had to find part-time job as well to kind of help support my business as well. But I think, it's definitely what's right for me. And if something is making me happier, I'm gonna go for that. For me, last year just told me that, or showed me that following what other people think is the right thing to do isn't gonna make me happy. So why do that? And so yeah, I have had so many doubts about it. I've had people, even when I left my job, I had like people told me I was stupid for leaving and stuff like that. But I've had to push through that, and I realized, okay, actually, I'm just gonna try, and what's the worst that could happen? Really.
Yeah. You never know, do you, until you actually dip your toe in the water. And the
Exactly.
people who comment by saying that you're stupid for making this decision, are they business owners themselves? Have they gone through this process?
No, they haven't. And I'm so grateful for my family. Like, my parents and my sister and my friends have been so supportive. You know, some people, when I did tell other people about it, they were so quick to judge. I, I guess for them, it just looked like, why would you take such a big risk at a young age when you, you could fail? And I don't know, I guess they were just projecting their own fears onto me. But then I remember I watched this video by Gary Vee, and it was just like, well, you are young, so why not just take the risk and see where it takes you? And yeah.
I think when you're in your early 20s, then typically you don't necessarily have any typical commitment. Mortgage usually isn't on the cards at that point. Starting a family and building a life with somebody else sometimes isn't on the cards at that point. So yeah, the time to take a risk is when you haven't got any of those strong foundational commitments. The only thing that could ever happen is that it doesn't work, and that's fine, because the outcome of that is that you've learnt something, and you can then choose that, okay, is this direction of me working for myself still right for me? If it is, then what can I learn from what has just happened and hasn't quite worked? What can I adapt? What can I tweak? Make sure that your mindset is resilient, so that you tell yourself, I can do this, and you push on forward. I've had 3 businesses up until this point that have failed, and they've given me the best life lessons ever. So it's how you define failure. Failure isn't just something that's this awful, disgusting, poisonous word that defines you indefinitely. It just means that something that you've done just hasn't quite worked. You just adapt and you tweak it and carry on.
Yeah. And I think I've learned that now. Before I started, even when I was working at my old job, I felt like if I did something wrong, like that was it. And the fear of failing was just so big for me, and it stopped me from doing so many things. But now that I've realized, actually, it just means you tried, and that in itself is a great thing. And
Mhm.
even if you do get it wrong, it's okay. Like, you just learn from it. And I've learned so much just these past like 6 months, and it's helped me a lot as well. And I know that for me personally, I do not recognize the person I was last year. And so that just goes to show how much things have changed. And I'm so grateful for that.
So would you say your confidence is there now?
Absolutely. If, for example, last year when I was working at my old job, people would call me, would say that I was quiet. And even my friends realized that I was so quiet. I would be afraid to try new things, and I never put myself out there. Even to go to a networking event, I actually never went to any because I was so scared of
Wow.
speaking to other people. LinkedIn, I used to be scared to even post on there, also on social media. And to think now that I'm, actively going to networking events, and I've had people come up to me and say, "Oh, you're so confident." And I'm like, if you told me this time last year, I would never have believed it, because that was just not who I was. And I think truly I gained that confidence from taking this risk and trusting the process and trusting my purpose. And I knew that, okay, this is something I am passionate about. And once I started following, I guess, my dreams and taking risks, it's almost like my wings, just like my wings were clipped last year, and now they're not. And I just feel so much more like free and happy. Like, it's not been easy, but I genuinely feel so much better in where I'm at in life.
Good, I'm so pleased. It's such a wonderful thing to hear when someone's gone from, okay, I feel like I'm on the floor. I can't see a way out. You feel like that caged bird. And then when
Mm,
they can say that they're on the other side now, and yes, acknowledge that it still is difficult, but that core confidence that you have in your ability and the fact that you're living by your passion and your purpose, it's wonderful. And there's so many people out there that would be able to go, oh God, I feel like that now, or I remember when I felt like that as well. I think we need to be more open and honest about this side of business, and your support network is everything. I mean, they will either get you on a good stead quicker, or it will put you in a position of, well, I'll show you. So
Absolutely. No, it's so true. I think one thing I learned is always be careful who you are surrounded by, because
mhm,
I have friends now who are so supportive, and they're also taking risks now, and we all support each other. And I think it's so important to be with friends like that. Whereas if you have people who are judging you or constantly, making you second guess every single choice, like it's just going to stop you from, growing. And I think this is the time, sorry, to actually take those risks and grow.
yeah. I completely agree. And I'm so pleased that you are in that confident space now. You look fantastic, like so much lighter, and you can see the confidence in you. It's fantastic. But I am shocked because when we met, I think it was August of 2024, I
Yeah.
think round about that time, you stood out to me because of your confidence. So it's amazing the voice that we have in our own head of, oh, I'm being perceived like this, or I'm coming across in a certain way, and it's completely the opposite of what people actually see.
Yeah, yeah, because I remember when I first met you at the workshop as well, I just did not feel confident at all. And the fact that you're saying this as well, it's just, I just remember at the time, I was just so confused on what I was doing, what direction to take. And yeah, I just had no confidence in myself really and my business. To hear that from you, it honestly means a lot.
Well, it's the truth, and just to put it into context for the audience, Ev was one of my students in a business planning workshop, and you were an absolute joy to teach on during that workshop. I was like, oh God, this girl's going places. You can sense it. You can have a good instinctive feeling, particularly in a group of people. You know, you'll pick out certain members. You're like, oh, okay, need to watch that one because that one is definitely going places. And that was one of the reasons why I reached out to you about the TED Talk. I was like, I want to take a punt on you. I know you're a startup. I'm passionate about supporting startups anyway. Why not just take a chance and potentially give this girl the break that she needs? And I'm so glad that I made that decision, because for me, doing that particular milestone in my life and my career, I was so nervous, and I despise cameras. The irony, like with how my life is now, but I just despise cameras. I get so nervous behind them. And how you managed me that day, and how you made me feel completely at ease. Like, oh God, I haven't got a supplier partner that's helping me with this. I've actually got a friend that's wanting me to succeed on this mission that I'm doing. So that that just paid dividends in terms of a client experience from me for you. It was fantastic. Loved it. Really enjoyed working with you.
And honestly, for me as well, that, like I mentioned earlier, TEDx was when you gave me the opportunity, that was the turning point for me. Even when you messaged me that day to talk to me about this opportunity, I had so many doubts, and I was so tempted to say no because I felt like, well, I don't have the right kit. I'm not good enough. And this is such a great opportunity. But still, like, I just felt not confident. But when I went that day, I loved it so much. I think the energy of the event and you just trusting me with it as well. Like, I always wondered, so I was like, wow, Charlotte trusts me so much with this. And it just goes to show how when you have one person who really believes in you as well, it can make a difference. At that point in my life, I think I was really down, and
Yeah.
a lot of people didn't really believe in me. And I had a couple of people, of course, who supported me, but I just felt like I wasn't good. And I think the fact that you know, had just met me and you trusted me with it just meant so much. It was honestly, yeah, it was like a turning point in my life, honestly.
See, I had no idea that that was your big break, because how you held yourself during that workshop. I was like, God, this girl's talking as if she's done it for a long time. I knew that you hadn't, and I knew that you were at the startup stage, which is why you attended the workshop. but there was something different in your energy that was always like, I've already got the expertise. I know what I'm doing. I just need help with the execution of getting this off the ground. So that's a really nice case study actually, because it's just testimony to anybody who's looking to start a business that be very mindful and aware of where you're putting yourself and who's watching and who's listening. So make yourself known, bring yourself forward. I know that it can be overwhelming and you can feel nervous and you can have the imposter syndrome in small doses, but people are always watching and people are always listening. And the perception that you have of yourself in that moment doesn't necessarily mean that that's the ultimate of what everybody else sees. Yeah, it was an absolute privilege and a pleasure to have you on that journey with us. So yeah, well done.
And truly, I can't thank you enough for it. And that was the point as well where I wanted to kind of stop doing social media marketing and just focus
Mhm.
on video marketing and, bettering my skills at that. And yeah, and that honestly was the point where it changed everything for me. And it also showed me, like you said, putting yourself out there, you just never know who you're going to meet. And when you could get an opportunity that it could literally change the way you start your business or anything really. Like I said, like when I met you, that opportunity changed it all for me. But now I just look back at times when I have said no to opportunities and events, and I feel like, well, I mean, I don't regret it because at least I know now. But
Yeah,
I feel like if there is an opportunity now, I'm just gonna 100% take it, because a lot of the times it's the doubts in your head that you're in your head that does, really push you down and not help you to grow.
yeah, completely agree. I'd like to just elaborate on the start of our relationship then. So you attended the business planning workshop,
Mhm.
because I think this is important for anybody who is at startup stage and they're thinking, right, okay, how do I get my name out there? What things do I need to be aware of? So when you attended the business planning workshop, it wasn't actually the stage where you could demonstrate your work. You couldn't present your portfolio. The one thing that stood out to me was the passion and your commitment to what you wanted to do. So that was a huge tick for me anyway, because it was like, okay, this girl is hungry and this girl is on a mission to bring her dreams into a reality, and this is what she wants to do. So the follow up is in terms of just leading the audience on the journey of what that looked like. So the follow up was, I reached out to you because I was looking for somebody to help with the behind the scenes footage for the TEDx talk. And that again, the conversation flowed incredibly well. It was like, okay, this girl's authentic because how she's coming across now on the messages is exactly how she was in that workshop, which is good, another tick. And then the fact that you were able to demonstrate just a very brief portfolio of work, and that helped me to sense check the quality of work that was going to be done. I knew that there wasn't going to be this huge mountain of like, oh, I've worked here and I've done this, I've done this huge BBC documentary, and I've worked with this particular celebrity or this particular influencer. There were three core pieces of material that you presented to me. That was enough. I only needed to see three. I knew that it wasn't going to be any big household names that we're going to come across because you were at startup stage. So the reason why I'm bringing this to as part of this episode is as reassurance to the audience that you only need a small little tiny portfolio for you to demonstrate the quality of the work that you can do at this stage. It doesn't necessarily represent what's going to happen in 10 years time. You just need to have just something that you've got to demonstrate, this is what I can do. So meeting you in person, speaking to you over messages, and just seeing a small portfolio sold it to me completely. And it's important because a lot of people hold themselves back, thinking, "Oh God, I haven't got these big household names behind me. I can't say that I've done this, blah 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 blah." No, we all start somewhere, don't we? And that was all that I needed to see. Just those three pieces of work. Even if you showed me one piece of work, it wouldn't have mattered because I was like, I already, I'm 99% of the way there anyway to trust this person. So I think it's important just to reassure people of what that journey looks like as well.
And I think for me as well, when I remember when you said that I could come along to film, I felt like I didn't have the right equipment. And I just want also people to know that it's okay to start small and grow. You don't have to have everything, like, the best equipment yet. If you have the passion, you can always find ways to, get better and create something that, makes a difference. And yeah, so one thing I will say is don't be afraid to start small and grow.
So networking then now, Nev, how are you getting yourself about? How do people get to know what you do?
So I do attend a lot of networking events, but I have decided to kind of work on my personal branding as well. Which I remember when we were talking in the workshop, you mentioned personal branding, but I never really understood it like before. I didn't really realize how much of an impact it can have on your business. And even like how I got this opportunity, it was essentially through knowing me that you said yes to me doing the filming for the TEDx talk. And a lot of the times I realized that when people speak to me, they say yes to me coming to film their promo videos. And obviously, with video marketing, there is a lot of competition. So, one thing that will set me apart is going to be my passion and who I am and why I'm doing this. So, I'm working on, building my personal branding and putting myself on camera and talking about why I'm doing this and building a platform that way as well. So I've been working on that, but networking honestly does help me a lot. With networking, I feel like it's great because you're going to get to meet people, but with personal branding and building something on social media, that you can meet anyone on the internet, and that could bring so much more, clients to you. So yeah, that's something that I'm focusing on. But so far, yeah, networking has been helping me.
Good. I'm really pleased. And do you feel that anything's holding you back at the moment?
I think sometimes, I do have doubts and worries and the fear of failing. Oftentimes I just try and work through it and I'm like, okay, well, it's nice to hear what other businesses have gone through and other individuals have
Mm.
gone through, and it does help me a lot. I also think like the financial aspect of it, a lot of the times, like when you say, oh yeah, I'm a business owner, there is like a struggle to it that people sometimes don't see. It's just dealing with those doubts, but also just holding on to, like, I guess, your purpose and your passion and being like, okay, one day this will pay off. And I think it's just, yeah, it's just the doubts that really get to me sometimes, but I'm just trying to hold on to, like, yeah, my passion and see where it goes really.
So working through the doubts then, because we all have doubts. We're human. When you say that you work through them, what does that look like? How do you work through pushing through the doubt barrier?
I just think back to who I was even last year. Like this time last year, I was someone who, if you told me to go on a podcast this time last year, I would probably be crying and I would have said no. So I just look back at how much I've grown since then. And that just kind of reaffirms to me, okay, like you've changed so much, you've done so much. So why say no? Like you don't know what the next year could bring. So that's what kind of gives me hope. Yeah, so I always kind of look back at the past and think, okay, I've grown so much since then. So there is still hope. Like there is so much that is still yet to come. So that pushes me really.
Yeah, good. I mean, we're never us, full stop, are we? We
Exactly.
we grow, we learn, we adapt every day, and particularly as business owners, and in particular financial circumstances, or there's a drought of clients. That there is stress there, and we do have to go back to the drawing board and think, right, okay, what can we tweak? What can we refine? It's an ever moving piece, but if you're along for the ride and you trust yourself, then you're already half the way there. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel like half the time I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like, gosh, like this is so new to me. But like you said, I'm genuinely just trusting the process and seeing where it takes me. And so far, I've met so many amazing people who have trusted me with opportunities and have genuinely helped me so much. And I feel like if this is just me 6 months into it, like, it just makes me excited for the next 6 months. Yeah, I'm genuinely trusting the process.
Well, people buy from people, don't they? And people gravitate more towards good people. So you'll always be fine, Nev. I completely trust that, and just keep going.
Thank you.
Tell the
Thank you
doubts to
so
fuck
much.
off.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's definitely true. I think the whole idea of people buy from people is so big. Did not understand the concept again when I
Yeah.
first started, but even when I was trying to find clients, I felt like I had this huge net and I was chasing these butterflies and they were just like flying away from me. But then when I attended your workshop and a couple of, speaking to other people as well and networking, I realized that, well, actually, if you build a beautiful garden, then the butterflies are going to come anyway.
Yeah.
And
Love that.
that for me was like personal branding and being true to who you are and showcasing your passion. And that's what's gonna make you stand out really compared to other people that are maybe doing the same thing. Your passion and who
Yeah.
you are will always stand out.
The pride that needs to support the messaging. So the projects that you've done so far, and they've been varied, haven't they? When
Mhm.
you showcase those and when you shout about them, there needs to be a sense of pride behind it. This isn't like me like criticizing you. This is just me saying, like, generally speaking, for everybody, it's a reminder that we need to sing our own praises a bit more, because that as energy fuels other people, and it helps people to draw themselves to you as well. Always be proud of the work that you've done and the journey that you're on.
100%. I used to hide behind my work. I never used to be proud of what I would, put out. Even when I was working at, so during university, I worked at various news agencies and organizations, but I worked at this TV station. And whenever I would put together a TV package, which would then be broadcast on TV, I would be the first one judging every single thing I did. And I used to be my biggest hater. And
Yeah,
now I've realized actually it does nothing. It really doesn't. It just puts me down when actually I've created a TV package which is on TV and there are so many good things about it. Like you need to look at the positives and just be kinder to yourself as well. And I agree with what you're saying. Even now, when I share videos that I've done on LinkedIn and social media, I do try to, be more confident about what I put out there. Even though sometimes I'm like, oh, I could have done this better. Or, yeah, I just look at the positives and at least I took this opportunity and I've done it. And that's
yeah.
something to be proud of.
Absolutely. Well, striving for perfection, it stifles us. It stops us from actually going, because we'll sit there and we'll just go, "Oh God, that's not good enough. I need to change this. Oh no, I can't. I can't publish that." But you just need to learn that you refine and you tweak things as you go along. Nobody is perfect, and we'll look out to people that are in our industry. We'll look out to our competitors or people that we're looking up to and aspire us to be on their level. They've always been at this point anyway. May have been years ago, may have been months ago. Everybody has started somewhere, and just making those little improvements as you go along the way. You build something that when you can sit back and look back and you're like, oh God, I've achieved so much in such a short period of time, and I'm proud of myself. That pride we do. We really need to just sit down and give ourselves a good hard talking to about being a bit, like you say, kinder and a bit more proud of what we're doing, because it's wonderful. It really is.
Absolutely. I used to compare myself a lot on social media. It's so easy for us to compare. But I saw this quote and it was like, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 70.
Yeah,
And just always think back to every single thing that you've achieved and how far you've come. Everyone, well, for me personally, I'm always changing. I'm learning something new every single day and I'm always adapting and changing. So why compare my journey to someone else's when I've already come so far? And
yeah,
that's something that's helped me as well. And I think, don't be so hard on yourself and just focus on your own journey. It is hard. I still sometimes, here and there, I feel like I'm failing or, I compare myself to other people, but it does ground me when I think back to where I was and where I am now.
yeah. So in business now then, Nev, what would you say has been your proudest achievement so far?
I would say going out there, networking and speaking to people and taking on opportunities. But if there's one thing that I'm really proud of is, and I'm not just saying this, it's honestly from my heart, it's when I said yes to doing the TEDx video. And the reason I say that was because it was at a point in my life when I felt so defeated. I felt like I was not gonna make it in life. Like I just was speaking so badly of myself and I just, I had no confidence. And that point, when you said yes to me doing that video, that honestly did change it for me. And it changed. I don't think I would be here taking on these opportunities if you didn't give me that opportunity then, because it was such a huge
Wow.
opportunity. And time in my life when I honestly wasn't in a great place. When someone trusts you with something like that, like it does change everything. And yeah, that point for me is my biggest highlight so far, because that's what's changed who I am as well. I knew I always had a passion for video and creating videos. And I remember even when I was at university, I was telling my friend when I was working on this documentary, like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, this is so fun. But to be able to actually find that spark again, it was at that event. And I remember after it, I was in my car and I was crying of like happiness. And I called my friend and I told her, I honestly feel like I've got my spark again. Like, this is what I want to do. And yeah, and that's what changed it for me. And the fact that I'm able to work on these projects is because of that one opportunity that you gave me. Yeah, honestly, that is my highlight.
God, I'm a little bit moved by that. I had no
But it's the
idea.
truth. It's the truth. I always tell my friends is I'm like, Charlotte, like when you gave me that opportunity, the fact that we met at the workshop and then, you gave me that opportunity and even being on this podcast, it's just so amazing. But yeah, one opportunity literally changed everything and where I want to take my business as well. So yeah, truly it's all thanks to you.
God, it's as it's got me, that has. It's, yeah, it's as it's got me because it's from my side of the fence, the work that I do, supporting startups, supporting aspiring entrepreneurs to start the business, and then people who are already in established businesses, trying to help them to grow their businesses. When you actually hear the true impact that you've had for somebody, it's like it's reaffirming for me that what I do is worthy of something. So it's yeah, it's got me that as I'll dine out on that for a while now.
It's the truth. And there's this quote that it's funny because Lady Gaga says it and it's become a meme now, but it's like you could be in a room and 100 people don't believe in you. I mean, no,
Yeah,
sorry, you're in a room, 100 people, there's 100 people there, 99 don't believe in you, but all it takes is one person to believe in you.
yeah.
And that one person for me at that time was you. And I'll
Wow.
forever be grateful for that. And yeah, that was my changing point. So
Oh,
yeah,
blown away. Yeah, reaffirms that what I'm doing is making a difference as well, which makes your heart sing, doesn't it? When you get to
yeah,
those moments, you're like, oh God, yeah, okay, I am making a difference. This is really good. So,
100%. Yeah,
and I would have had no idea that that point in your life was your low. You just didn't carry it. You didn't show it outwardly at all. So, I asked for you to help with that particular project because of your passion and how driven you were. I had no idea. So it's a testimony to we don't always know what's happening behind the scenes with people. Be kind, give people a chance.
100%. And I think when I do look at a lot of business owners, you see them strong and confident. For me, when I would look at business owners talking on social media, they just seem like they know it all. They don't have a
Yeah,
bad day. They're always driven and, they have that drive.
yeah,
And at that point in my life, I just was like, well, no one's really talking about, them struggling with their mental health and how there is, a side to it where maybe you don't have confidence.
mhm,
And I never really heard that side. But I feel like with my journey, I really want to be open with that. It wasn't easy
yeah,
for me. I was struggling a lot with my mental health, especially, after leaving my old job. I just felt so lost. When you hear about what other people are maybe saying about you as well, it does really knock your confidence. But like I mentioned, when you just have one person who really believes in you and trusts you and sees you, that just changes. That can change someone's life. And yeah,
yeah. Well, I'm absolutely privileged and honoured to have been part of your journey. It's lovely. It's heartwarming. It is. I had
and
no idea up until this conversation. It's great.
like this should give people hope that, you can get a yes and things can change for you. And
Yeah.
yeah, it did for me.
Well, every business owner hears the word no from time to time. Not everybody's going to say yes, and that's okay. It's part of it. It flexes that resilience muscle. It keeps you going. Yes, it's a knock on your confidence, knock on ego potentially, or you're thinking, oh God, I was really banking on that particular job coming through. So you need to just take stock, suck it up, go, okay, right, it wasn't meant to be. Let's move on to the next thing. Don't stay down from that no for too long because you've got a job to do. Keep going. You've got a purpose to fulfill. Keep going.
Absolutely. And I think since starting my business, it's helped me so much to build my confidence and resilience. I used Well, before my parents used to say, "Oh, you used to give up so quickly."
Yeah,
And now it's like, well, actually, I can't give up. Like, this is my everything now, you know? And it's okay to just, if you do get no's, it's fine. At least you've tried, you know? A lot of people don't even try. So the
yeah,
fact that you even took that step is huge. And yeah, that's how I'm taking it now.
yeah. Good, good for you. So, what would you say has been the biggest challenge so far in business?
Definitely, uh, I will say, when you're first starting out, it will take time to build your business, and the financial aspect of it is obviously very difficult. But also, I think the doubts and the fear of failing is huge as
Mm,
well. Both those things have been very difficult. Yeah, I would say that's been my biggest challenge, trying to fight off, because obviously you want to see results when it comes to your business.
yeah,
But when you're not seeing the results, then you automatically think, oh, well, I'm not doing a great job, or I'm not like good enough. And then all these doubts start like coming in. And yeah, that's what it's been a challenge, but and some days it does get to me. But like I mentioned, like kind of surrounding yourself with individuals who are in the same, journey, on the same journey as you. I've
yeah,
made friends who are also startups who have these days as well, and we all talk to each other and help each other, and that genuinely does help. Also speaking to my friends as well. So yeah, just it's those two things that really
yeah.
does get to me.
Give yourself another 12 months, you'll have a different challenge that you've overcome because you would have gotten to grips of just telling the doubts just to you've got no place in my head at the minute. Fuck off
Yeah.
doubt. And then you'd
Yeah.
overcome a different challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful that you could join us today. I've really enjoyed our conversation, so thank you ever so much. What's next on the horizon for your business?
So I am working on a self-funded project. It's all about helping people within the local community to have a platform to share their stories. I feel like everyone has a story, sorry, to share.
Yeah,
And I just want to be able to showcase that through video. And I loved it so much, like creating documentaries while I was at university. Yeah, I've reached out to my first interviewee and they've agreed to it. So yeah,
fab.
it's in the early stages, but I'm really excited to see um where it goes really, and if it can make an impact on people who are watching, then amazing.
So is that to build out their life story or their business story? What category is
So,
that in?
so it's going to be their personal like stories that can hopefully inspire and motivate other people. So yeah, and I want to kind of reach out to different people. For example, the first interviewee who I'm going to um do the short documentary on, she's had such an incredible past which you wouldn't even realize, and she
Yeah,
doesn't talk about it, but it's so inspiring. And you would never know that if you never really asked her or really got to know her. And yeah, she's happy to share it. So if that could inspire other people as well, then amazing.
yeah. Well, good luck with that. That sounds like a fantastic project.
Thank
And
you so much.
I'll keep watching you from the sidelines because you're definitely one to watch. Nev, I'm incredibly proud of you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for this opportunity as well. It's truly like I've always wanted to be on a podcast. So the fact that this is actually happening is just so big for me. So thank you so much for everything. Really, you've been such a huge supporter and you've helped me a lot along the way. So thank you.
Oh, good. I'm so pleased. Well, good luck then, Nev, and I'll catch up with you soon. And thank you ever so much for joining us today.